Welcome to Duskreach. Tonight's story is a work of fiction. Names, places, and events were created to serve the horror you are about to witness. But remember, some stories are told because someone survived them. The town of Ravens Hollow had always been quiet, but never empty. Children played in the streets, doors were left unlocked, and laughter echoed freely until the carnival arrived. It appeared overnight on the outskirts of town, its rusted rides creaking softly in the fog. No posters, no announcements, just tents, lights, and music that sounded slightly off, as if played from a damaged memory. At the center of it all stood a clown. His face was pale, cracked like old porcelain, frozen in a smile that never reached his eyes. Children were drawn to him instinctively. Adults felt an unease they couldn't explain. By morning, one child was gone. By nightfall, the laughter had stopped, but the clown remained. The townspeople would later swear the carnival was never there. But Ravens Hollow never forgot the sound of that laugh. The missing child returned 3 days later. No one saw him arrive. He was simply there, standing barefoot at the edge of Ravens Hollow, staring at the road that led back to the carnival grounds. His name was Noah Bell, 7 years old. His clothes were dirty, his skin pale, but there were no visible wounds. His parents ran to him in relief, but the moment Noah spoke, something felt wrong. He didn't cry. He didn't ask where he had been. He only smiled faintly and said,
"He says I'm funny now."
That night, Noah laughed in his sleep. Not a child's laugh, but a hollow rhythmic sound, as if rehearsed. His parents noticed the smell first: popcorn, old fabric, and rust. By morning, Noah had drawn the same image over and over on the walls of his bedroom, a tall clown, standing still, watching. When asked where he had been, Noah answered calmly,
"I wasn't lost, I was chosen."
Outside, far beyond the town limits, a single carnival light flickered back on. If you're enjoying the story so far, subscribe to Duskreach and stay with us until the end. When the town council searched old permits, newspapers, and photographs, one detail stood out. The clown had never been listed. No name, no performer, no contract. In every faded image of Ravens Hollow Carnival, children laughed, rides spun, and there he was, standing slightly apart, always blurred, always watching. Witnesses described him differently. Some remembered bright colors. Others swore his costume was gray, stained, and stitched by hand. But everyone agreed on one thing: he never moved unless a child was alone. That same week, Noah's behavior worsened. He stopped responding to his parents. At school, he stood motionless during recess, staring at other children until they cried. When asked what he was thinking, he whispered,
"He's counting."
That night, the sound returned to town. A soft squeak, metal bending, and laughter, slow, deliberate, rolling through the fog like a signal. At the edge of Ravens Hollow, the carnival gates creaked open by themselves. Comment below. If you lived in this town, would you investigate the carnival or stay inside and lock the doors? The scream came from the old maintenance shed behind the carousel. When the town sheriff arrived, he found Caleb Rourke, a former carnival worker who had stayed behind years ago. His body was twisted unnaturally, limbs bent as if pulled by invisible hands. His mouth was stretched open, frozen in a silent laugh, so wide it tore the skin at the corners. Paint stains covered his clothes, red, white, and blue, but no brushes were found. His eyes were gone. In their place, someone had pressed 2 black glass marbles, still warm to the touch. Carved into the wooden wall behind him was a single sentence, scratched deeply and repeatedly: "Laughter comes first." That night, Noah finally spoke again.
He said grown-ups break easier.
The clown was never part of the carnival's records. Old photographs showed jugglers, fire breathers, mass performers, but never him. Yet every survivor described the same figure: tall, unnaturally thin, with a painted smile that looked carved rather than applied. His face paint cracked when he moved, as if it were drying flesh, not makeup. Inside the abandoned funhouse, investigators found something worse. A room filled with mirrors, each one smeared with handprints at child height. In the center, a small wooden chair bolted to the floor. Straps still hung from its arms, frayed and darkened by old blood. Scratched into the mirrors were dozens of identical drawings. Stick-figured children holding hands, all missing their mouths. On the ceiling, written in dripping red paint, they laughed until they learned. When the lights flickered out, laughter echoed inside the funhouse. No one was inside. After the funhouse discovery, the town began to change. Children woke up screaming, claiming a clown stood at the foot of their beds, breathing softly, smelling of rust and damp cloth. Parents reported muddy footprints, leading from bedroom windows to nowhere. Dogs refused to enter certain streets after sunset, whining at empty corners, as if someone invisible watched them pass. One family recorded audio while their son slept. At 3:23 a.m., beneath his breathing, another sound emerged, slow clapping, followed by a whisper.
Your turn to smile.
The recording ended with laughter not made by any human throat. The town council announced an emergency curfew, blaming mass hysteria. That same night, music echoed through the streets, calliope melodies warped and slow. Residents peeked through curtains and saw a parade moving without lights. Rusted floats, torn banners, balloons deflated like dead lungs. At the center walked the clown. No makeup now, just pale skin stretched too tightly over a smiling skull. With every step, the houses behind the parade decayed, paint peeling, windows cracking, as if time rotted in its wake. When the music stopped, so did the town's power, and something knocked on every door at once. If you heard knocking like this, comment, would you open the door or hide? By morning, several houses stood with doors wide open. Inside, walls were smeared with handprints, too many overlapping, pressed as if people had tried to crawl into the plaster itself. Floors were warped, soaked, pulsing faintly like living tissue. In one home, a chair faced the door. Strapped to it were strips of colorful fabric, bells still tied, gently ringing in the silence. No bodies, no blood, only laughter recorded on an old cassette looping endlessly from room to room. The clown didn't take them. He rearranged them. Inside Ravenfall's abandoned elementary school, investigators discovered something far worse than fingerprints or blood. Every classroom wall was covered in crayon drawings made by children, maps of the town drawn from memory. Houses filled the pages, each marked with smiling faces, except a handful circled violently in red. Those circled houses matched every disappearance. At the center of every map stood the same figure, a towering clown with stretched limbs, positioned exactly where the old playground once stood. Beneath one drawing, written again and again in trembling crayon, were the words, "He comes when we remember him." Ravenfall wasn't being stalked. It was participating. We're getting close to the truth. Tell me in the comments, do you think the clown was summoned or born from memory? The last sighting in Ravenfall happened at dusk. Witnesses reported hearing laughter echoing from the abandoned playground. Slow, deliberate, impossibly close. When authorities arrived, they found the clown standing motionless beneath the rusted swing set, its painted smile cracked and peeling. Then it bowed. The lights in town went out one by one. By morning, Ravenfall was silent. No bodies, no signs of struggle, only empty homes, and a single message carved into the playground dirt. Thank you for remembering me. Ravenfall was never erased. It simply finished its performance. If this story unsettled you, subscribe to Duskreach for new horrors every week. And remember, some stories only exist because we keep watching.